Beep, 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 beep. Hello, good peeps. It is yet another grey and miserable August morning. What the hell's wrong with this country? Apparently there's a global warming cause of this. So I'm told by, various eco-goblins. Let's continue. We're going to the land of law, right? The land of law, which is where a lot of this plays out, as you know. Buy me a coffee, borrow your teacher, give me a super thanks, the usual, yeah? But we've seen it, Dennis Kavanagh, Dennis of the Kavanagh, Sarah of the Phillimore, right? Lawful, that's what we're seeing. Anna, right, with the Good Law Project. Yep, taking the D of each court. This is where the game played out. Will play out, right? Lawful, lawfare, that will do it. But there's a few stories that we've forgotten, not least of all because we've been in it a long time. And I was forced to think about Maria McLachlan today, who was one of the first people that ever fell foul of a justice system captured by transgender and queer ideology. And I thought about you, Maria, because at the time you ended up in court with some ridiculous nonsense about misgendering going on. So it's rather good to read in the good old, is it the Times or the Telegraph we're in today? I can't tell. It's the Times, right? Okay, it's the Times, the August, the Times. Barristers' regulator scraps advice on misgendering. What's going on, I hear you ask? What's happening in the world of the law? Bar Standards Board accused of promoting of gender ideology. Advice to barristers against misgendering trans men and women on social media has been scrapped by the regulator. In the latest so-called woke controversy to affect the legal profession, the Bar Standards Board confirmed that it had dropped a case study from its guidance to the 17,000 practising barristers in England and Wales. So this is the people that say to barristers, you're a barrister, it's an important job, people need to be able to trust you. Well, most of you, we know a couple that aren't trustworthy, right? We need to be able to trust you. You also, barristers as a job needs to have a pristine reputation because you're going to be dealing with things in court. People expect you to have the highest of standards, the highest of principles, because that's the nature of the job, right? So the Bar Standards Board is saying, you might want to think about this. So they are going, here's the behaviour we expect. If you don't do this, if you screw this up too much, we are going to hoik you out. Rather like the General Medical Council can do the same to erstwhile doctors. Okay? So you get it, right? So this is the Bar Standards Board. It emerged at a recent meeting of the regulator that the social media guidance had included a case study that depicted a hypothetical online exchange. In it, a transgender man, challenges a comment made by a barrister on Twitter. The case study said that the lawyer then sent several tweets directed at the transgender woman in which the barrister deliberately misgendered and threatened them. Okay? The case study said that the barrister's conduct in specifically targeting the transgender woman, threatening and intentionally misgender them, was likely to be considered seriously offensive and discriminatory. So we've got the Bar just get your head around this. We've got the Bar Standards Board. Remember what I said about, professionalism, principles, all the stuff that comes with it, are saying if you don't lie, then that's seriously offensive and discriminatory. What? Barristers unite. If you don't lie, it's discriminatory. If you don't lie, it's seriously offensive. What? At the board's meeting last week, officials conceded that they had received objections to the case study and allegations that the regulator was promoting gender ideology. Yes, you were. Just in case you're in any doubt, says the jester. You were. Objectors said the board's advice was either wrong or, according to papers submitted to the meeting, something the BSP should avoid taking a stance on. Damn right. Damn right. Board officials said the regulator was sensitive to the strength of feeling on both sides of the gender debate. No, there's truth and there's reality, and then there's the rest. You can't both sides of this. Barrister, it's amazing to me, isn't it, that a group of people whose entire life revolves around an adversarial system where you gut your opponent, right? Like you would a fish on a slab, right? What do you do for a job? I'm a barrister. What does that involve? Gutting my opponent like they're a fish on a slab. What they do, right? They just win, for God's sake. It's an adversarial system, you know, that's what we have, are now saying they're sensitive to the strength of feeling on both sides of the gender debate, when in fact there are no both sides, and we should eviscerate the whole thing. Gender ideology, queer theory, all of it, critical social justice, we should eviscerate it like a fish on a slab. You know, up the bum, straight to the right. An official told the meeting that the decision to remove the case study does not mean that the BSB will never be interested in barristers' conduct involving the gender debate, the expression of philosophical beliefs, or the discussion around deliberately misgendering a transgender person. Right, okay, so why have you taken it out then? Is it possible that you can smell the beginnings of a very smelly, silent legal fart in your midst? You're going, ooh, I can smell the coffee. That's not coffee. What is it then? It's Miriam. Where again? Are you sure? Might be Mark. Where's the smell coming from? I don't know, but it smells legal. Let's do something. I love it when they scurry away. Over the past 7 years, several barristers have publicly discussed decisions to transition. In 2016, Caroline Harrison KC told The Times about the very deep terror she felt before telling colleagues and clients about her planned change. However, she said that she met not just acceptance, but positive support and encouragement. So that's a he, is it? Just to be sure, I think it might well be. It might well be. It may not be. The regulator's debate about the case study and the guidance, which was first highlighted on the legal profession website, Legal Futures, came nearly 3 years after officials said a barrister could be disciplined if social media activity breached professional conduct rules. In 2019, the board instructed barristers that when using social media sites, that they must be mindful of their professional duties at all times. That's a fair comment, isn't it? The diktat warned barristers that engaging in heated debates or arguments, or making comments designed to demean or insult, could put them in breach of the rules. Oh, you're treading a fine line here, aren't you, bar stewards? Your bar standards board, aren't you? Treading a fine line. Barristers were told to consider the content and tone of their posts, warning them that comments that you reasonably consider to be in good taste may be considered distasteful or offensive by others. This is the usual nonsense. It's anti-free speech. That's what you're seeing. Now, I understand that they want people to be of a particular standard, that you're looking at people, you know, behaving in a way, particularly in professions like barrister, doctor. You know, you've got to look good. You've got to be clean. For some, it appears. I would say that what they've got themselves involved in is the usual nonsense. What they're saying is that you can't offend. Well, you know, if you want to think, you've got to risk offence. It's that simple. So I don't know how barristers are supposed to get around that. I don't know. I suppose the idea is that we don't need them to be barristers online, or just don't say you're a barrister. Well, I don't know what the way around it is. But I do know this much. It should never, ever be seen as offensive or discriminatory to tell the truth. Men, women, that's it, and all about it. And then we won't end up in a situation where people are assaulted have to call the person that assaulted them the opposite sex from what they are, just because somebody believes in a gender identity that has been slipped into a flesh sack of a soul. Or that a woman is asked to call a rapist she, which is what's been happening. We eradicate it fully, it goes, and they just become people that aren't, you know, that had to do it because they didn't feel very well. And then we stop it, we ban it, full stop, just ban the whole thing. And like every other iatrogenic process we've ever seen, eugenics, anyone, it will eventually fade into history. And we can learn from the lessons and ensure it never happens again. But it is funny to watch the Bar Standards Board trying to find a middle road for a profession that is entirely hell-bent on destroying the opposition. Don't you think? All right, see you later. Ta-da!